guys, in this video I want to take you through the materials you'll need for this course. I'm going to tell you about the essential materials only, so please go ahead and look at the PDF for any extra items you'll need. So the first thing I do before I start any alcohol ink artwork is make sure my room is well ventilated. I need to have a window open or the air conditioning on or even a fan, something that will give me some fresh air, because after a while the fumes from the materials we'll be using can become a bit overwhelming. The next thing I do is protect the surface I'm working on. So I always put plastic on my table first. It's because I don't want the wood to get damaged. And then I put paper towels, and these paper towels are an alcohol ink artist's best friend. I've always got a roll of paper towels handy because these work as an absorbent for any liquid that would spill off the paper as we're working, and it really helps in the cleanup process later. The next thing you'll need is a set of alcohol inks. So I'll be working with the Jacquard brand in this particular course, but if you have another brand, that's absolutely fine. I love this brand because the colors are so rich and vibrant, and I really particularly love their metallic colors. The gold and the brass and the silver, they work absolutely beautifully with the other colors. So I do recommend you get a metallic color with the rest of your colors because they really are so mesmerizing to work with, and we will be using it in almost every lesson. Alcohol inks are dye-based inks, and they work best on non-porous surfaces. So any surface that doesn't absorb liquid, for example, metal, glass, porcelain, and plastic. And that's where this paper comes in handy. So this paper that we'll be using is called Yupo paper. It comes in a pack of 10 sheets, and the paper has a beautiful smooth surface, and that's why these inks work so beautifully on this surface. Yupo paper is actually not paper made of trees, it's actually plastic, and I'll show you why. For example, this is a piece of Yupo that I had painted on, and the liquid and the inks that I placed on it have not gone to the other side. So it's non-absorbent for any liquid that is placed on it because it's plastic. I can cut this, but I cannot tear this paper because it is plastic, like I said. It really is a beautiful surface to work on with alcohol inks. The next item we'll need is some isopropyl alcohol. This is the alcohol that we use for cleaning and disinfectant in hand gels, for example. I do recommend that you get 98 to 100% isopropyl alcohol. Don't go any less, even 97% is still too weak. It needs to be concentrated because that's what helps the inks flow so beautifully onto our Yupo paper. And if it's any less than 98%, from my experience, it does make the ink go lumpy and break up, and it won't flow as beautifully as it does with the 98 to 100% alcohol. So if you're a resident of the UAE, you could purchase all these items, plus more colors and more metallics from my website, nectarbynaveen.com. If you're not a UAE resident, then I do have some recommendations and places for where you can go and purchase these items in my PDF, so make sure you go through the PDF that I've attached below. The next items we'll need is a packet of disposable plastic straws. Do make sure that they are the bendy straw type, because we'll use these to blow with our mouth on this end. We'll be blowing some air through the straw and then using the bent end to guide the air across the paper, and that will push the ink and the alcohol in the direction that we want it to go. So this is essentially similar to our paintbrush. The next item we need is an alcohol ink artist's best friend. So this dropper is very handy for grabbing the alcohol and dropping it onto the Yupo paper as we need it. I do put the alcohol in this glass jar. This is the lid for it, and it's so great because I can just put the lid on my glass jar and I've preserved my alcohol for when I need to use it again. Now, if you can't find this glass jar and the dropper that goes inside, you can purchase a dropper on its own from a pharmacy, or even a pipette, also from a pharmacy or any of those dollar stores. But do try to get one because it is a lot easier than pouring directly from your bottle or even from your large bottle. It's not as precise as a dropper. So this is a very essential item. If you can't find this glass jar, also you can just use a plastic cup. This is just a small disposable cup, or you could even use the regular size disposable cups to place your alcohol in, and with your dropper or pipette you can just grab the alcohol as you go. But do ensure that they are plastic cups and not paper cups, because the alcohol will eat away at the base of the cup and you'll start to lose all your alcohol from underneath. So plastic cups are the best. The next item we'll need is my signature touch of table salt. We'll be using this salt throughout many of the pieces in our lessons. It's just regular table salt, and what we'll be doing is grabbing a pinch of it, and while the ink is wet, we'll be sprinkling it over the ink, and the salt absorbs the ink and the alcohol as it's drying, and once it's dried we just brush off the salt and it leaves a beautiful texture behind. The next item we'll need is a permanent marker. So we do need one that is 0.5 and 1 millimeters. If you can find one like this where it's a dual marker, it has the 0.5 on one end and the 0.1 on the other, and the 1 millimeter, on the other end. This is quite handy because you've just got 2 in 1. If not, just try to find one of each size. The last two items are these paint brushes. So we'll need one with a flat tip and another one with a round tip. So this one we need it to be quite thin, and this one not too broad, just a medium-sized flat end brush. So these are the essential items we'll need for our course. Do go ahead and read through the PDF for any extra items that we'll need. Once you have everything prepared, then you're ready to dive into the mesmerizing world of alcohol inks.